Everyone wants to know why the queen broke her vow. But no one ever asked why he could not reveal his name. In Wolfram von Eschenbach's Grail legend, the story of Lohengrin, son of Parzival, appears suddenly, briefly, and with striking silence. This work begins with that silence, drawing on astronomical symbolism and Celtic mythic thought. This story proposes a quiet question. Could it actually have meant something like this? This is not a retelling of the Swan Knight's arrival, but a story of the world that called him forth. As in the original, the first part ends with a farewell scene. I hope people will enjoy the first part alone, without having to wait for the sequel. Synopsis. Before the Swan Knight ever arrived, there was already a kingdom waiting for him. Not in hope, but in forgetting. This story does not begin with a boat drawn by a swan. It begins with a young queen who can no longer remember what her crown was meant to protect. She senses something wrong. Prayers feel rehearsed. Loyalty feels performed. Even devotion to the gods seems strangely theatrical. A court that speaks endlessly of salvation, yet has forgotten what was lost. And then, one day, she sees a man standing where no one should be. Neither hero nor savior. A knight who offers no name, no origin. She has never met him before. And yet, impossibly, he feels familiar. This is not a story of arrival. It is a story of recognition. Not of who he is, but of why he had to come. A tale of memory, forbidden names, and a bond that began long before the first meeting. Characters. The queen, the protagonist of the story. After the sudden death of her parents, she ascends the throne of tales when unmarried and unprepared. The Swan Knight Alvern, a figure standing in the place of Lohengrin, son of a sacred night king and guardian of holy relics. He comes to aid the queen. Yet his presence is less salvation than resonance, as though answering a call that existed before words. The High Hierophant, supreme authority of the kingdom-state religion. The doctrine of the burning dawn, a trusted guardian of both throne and people, deeply involved in trials, royal marriage, and matters of war. Fiona, the queen's capable maid, a devoted follower of the doctrine and a disciple who is favored by the High Hierophant. About the story. The first part follows the original legend, the marriage of the queen and the Swan Knight, and their separation. Unlike Wagner's version, which ends in death, this story closes with a premonition, pointing toward what is yet to come. Why must the knight's name not be asked? Why does the queen herself have no name? Why does the Swan Knight leave behind a sword, a ring, and a horn? This story lingers within the silence the original left behind. This work belongs to the mythological classics. Moreover, it reconnects with the classical epic and mythological archetypes found in classical mythology, medieval epic poetry, Celtic mysticism, and Norse folklore. A classic characteristic of original mythological fantasy. Its direction is fundamentally different from the value expression fantasy that has become mainstream in recent years. What is different from existing works? Comparing a new tale. The Swan Knight with Wagner's version of Lohengrin and the Lohengrin chapter of Volume 16 of Wolfram's original Parzival. The biggest difference is not in the structure or plot, but in the reason for the existence of the story itself. Both the original text and Wagner are stories about Lohengrin after he came. This story depicts the atmosphere before it comes, the abnormalities in the kingdom that is called, and the world before it is forbidden to ask questions. From the author. To the poet Knight. Dedicated to Wolfram von Eschenbach. I would be happiest if you, more than anyone, could take pleasure in it. The story of Lohengrin is unnervingly brief within the Grail cycle. What remains is not resolution, but a sense of something abandoned. I long wondered whether this was merely an episode, or the trace of something that could not be spoken. From that question, this story was born. I hope you will see it through to the end. It is only when you read it that the story comes alive. M Arcturus.